Good evening, boys and girls. Happy Tuesday to each and every one of you. Welcome to another live edition of the Highbury Squad. We've got Super Kev in the house, and my goodness, this is going to be a very happy and positive conversation. Let's roll. Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad. That's right, Newman. Tell everyone, please behave tonight. Look at that picture.
I didn't see that. Did it play?
Which?
The video you just put on.
Yeah, we're live. Are you there?
No, I'm here, but did you put a video? Just put a video on to start.
No, I just played
to start. Yeah, it didn't play on my end.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you guys see the regular trailer? I don't know what's happening. We got gremlins in the house already.
It's Liverpool trying to do us.
There was I starting with our Holy Trinity. Look at that. God bless them, everyone. Baby Jesus, look after these three. Super Kev, Super Kevin Campbell in the house.
Got to get Rocky in. Always got to get Rocky in.
Yes. Well, I got plenty of that tonight. Plenty of that.
Pow! Squaddies. Sophie, let's get into it because you know what? Rearview mirrors that way. Behind us, let's look forward. We've got a big game coming up on Thursday.
Oh, do we?
And one of the teams are trying to get out. So
let's
pull them back in. At ease, Squaddies.
Well, you know what? Those boys are beautiful. Evening to everyone. The usual at tease. Johnny boy, very nice. I like it. I like it a lot. No Belichick from Super Kev. Oh, we're having Belichick. I've been watching Man in the Arena and I'm inspired. Let me tell you, I've learned a lot of lessons watching that. The Last Dance was one thing, Kev, but Man in the Arena is a little bit something different. And even as a broadcaster, it has given me some perspective. I will share that. I know.
Really? Hey.
And I was
still going to argue.
Totally. We're still going to argue.
We're still going to have it.
Sorry, Kev. The fringe is getting a bit long. I'm growing out my hair. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but the squaddies can decide. I'm sure they'll let me know. Good evening, Rich. Good evening, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Super Kev, you alluded to Stop teasing us, Kevin. Kev.
Oh, Antigua. What a place, by the way.
I mean, just with my scarf, my hat.
Lovely place. Beautiful place.
It is a beautiful, beautiful place. LT's working from home. I bet you are multitasking. Yeah. We've heard it all before.
That one. Yeah. What is it? Sit on the sofa, use the remote control.
Yes.
And drink.
Totally.
Multitasking. I like it.
Oh, Inspector Gadget. Kev, what are those Scousers? I wish the ref was on tonight. What is this?
He got out lightly yesterday. Don't worry about that. He got off lightly. It was a good show yesterday, so I've got to say, I thought the ref handled it really well last night, and it was good to hear him, but we could have beat him today because you know what? They're trying to get out of it, Soph.
What is going on, Kev? Tell us.
They're trying to get out of it. Listen, we've known about this game since the draw. Now, they're trying to worm their way out. Even Red Nose John is talking on Twitter about...
What's he saying?
Listen, I just ignore him most of the time, right? But he's saying they haven't got a goalkeeper, call it off and all that type of thing. It's not our business. Liverpool Football Club do have a goalkeeper. They do have goalkeepers. So play them. It may not be your first choice, but what else can you do?
Kev, can we just... There's a lot of funny comments coming in, by the way. I'm a bit distracted. But, Kev, this has to stop because you know why? By the way, we're adding this bit in because we were going to take a different spin on the show tonight, and we're going to get there eventually. We're only going to talk about this for a couple of minutes until we know what the truth is and if they get their way. Because you know what? If Jurgen Klopp hadn't been belly aching all holiday season, Super Kev, about the congestion and player welfare and this and that, you would say, okay, listen, of course we want players to be healthy. Of course safety comes first. But it's getting a little bit old now, isn't it? Postponing games? Come on, man. Is it because Mane and Salah are off to African Cup of Nations? The final's due to be played at the end of February anyway. These games have got to be played. What are you going to try and do? Hold out until they get back? This is absolute, as we say in Greek, golos.
What's that? Bollocks.
Arses.
Well,
bollocks would be
arses and bollocks. Because that makes
Achillia.
no, what you said, Golos, was good. Listen, there is no way out. Play the game.
Yes.
Liverpool have got a squad. That's what it's there for. Use it.
Calling Grobbler. Hilarious. Kev, you know what? They are wriggling Brady's banana. This is 100% true. Leyton Orient had to forfeit their game with the Spuds. They played their reserve side last round. Now they're in the semi-final against the Arsenal, and they've seen how we've played against City.
Also, Soph, no disrespect, but this may be the only trophy they can win. Maybe. So you have to start taking it serious. But they're kind of underhanded a bit. So at the end of the day, Soph, it's got to be played. It's got to be played. So play it.
Yeah, totally. Totally. And thank you, Majestic T. We appreciate that. We love you guys. Thanks to everyone who's joining us. In the house tonight, our boy Matty K's back. The whole gang is here. We've got Liz, we've got Taib, we've got Newman, we've got Matty K, we've got Lone Star, we've got everybody, Kev. We've got Tammy, the whole crew's here.
Lovely.
And all the new people who have joined us. As you know, we're so grateful to you hooking up with the Highbury Squad and giving our show a shot.
That's why I wore the Rocky top. Rocky's just a little bit of inspiration for us today. Come on, that's gone now. We look forward, always looking forward now.
Well, seeing as you mentioned Rocky, there he is, Kev. Because there's a little bit of today's show that's going to bring me back to your time too. And by the way, on a Tuesday night, 230 in the house. Please kiss, caress, and love that like button if you love these boys. Look at this picture. Never, ever, ever, ever gets old. Super.
Or will you ever get tired of it? Because you know
Ever.
why? Everyone committed to the cause. Once you got people committed to the cause, Soph, you've got half a chance, haven't you?
And here's why I love putting these old pictures up. Okay. Hey, Virginia, welcome as well. Welcome, everyone. Because this vibe that I experienced as a young person, I'll say young. Kev, you like that?
Yes, I do. Yes.
This is, for me, like, great memories, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when I see that, and I tell you, I'm getting the vibes here a little bit.
Yep.
I'm getting a few of those vibes, and I'm especially getting a few of those vibes when I look at pictures like I put up at the beginning like this. But then when I circle back and I look at these boys, Kev, I mean,
special, isn't it? It's special.
It's really exceptionally special. And this is why I wanted to go in the show. Kev and I had a chat yesterday and he's like, Soph, let's start he's always inspiring. Soph, let's start looking forward. Let's start looking forward. And I'm like, yes, my favorite saying, I've shared this with you guys before. I only look in the rearview mirror to check my lipstick. What's done is done. It's over. That game is in the books. There's nothing we could do about it. But it's time to focus on what made that game somewhat beautiful. And sometimes losing is a beautiful thing. This is why I was saying the Tom Brady man in the arena, when he talks about losing and what you gain from that, what you learn from that. Kev knows, he's been there. And when you see these kids go from, that to this together.
Boys to men, isn't it? Boys to young men to men.
And that's why, Kev, it reminds me of all you lot.
Yeah.
And I think for the first time, this is why I wanted to talk about, and you said, let's talk about what we're like going forward. Hope isn't a plan, but hope is also a beautiful thing in many ways. And for the first time, I feel like there's a group of Arsenal players who actually give a shit about Arsenal Football Club.
Who care. They really care. Not only are they talented, Sophie, they're happy to graft for the team. They're happy to put the pressure on their young shoulders, which at times we've said on here that it ain't fair sometimes, Soph, that all this pressure's on these youngsters, because when you actually look at, for instance, the game against City, you look at City squad and you look at Arsenal squad, really there should be no chance. But these youngsters, backed up with the experience finally, are producing performances. And that was the best performance I've seen from Arsenal for many a year, especially against the top team.
So I'm going to start at the beginning, but one of our OGs, Demsek, has had the bug for the last 14 days. Mr. Demsek, we hope you are feeling better. Look after yourself.
Yep, full recovery.
Absolutely. You guys will get to ask Kev questions. Craig's already hitting it up. I was going to do this at the end a little bit today with a little bit of spontaneous stuff. So hold that thought, Craig. And Majestic, welcome and thank you for giving the show a chance. You've been watching from afar. I think we've passed the audition on YouTube Arsenal channels with Majestic, Craig, Kev. So the loss was brutal, but what we can take from that loss, I think, is a very interesting kind of spin for us, because a lot of the times we got thrashed 5-0 by Man City early in the season, Kev. And, we were playing rancid football, let's be honest, weren't we, for a while this season. You could see we had bits about us. And the truth is, in my opinion, since Aubameyang has been dropped, we've become more of a team. We've become much more united. So I'm going to get Super Kev's take, and then I want you to dovetail it a little bit with your own experiences too. I'm going to go through some of the squad, and we're going to have a little chat about the future, because the future is bright. Now, whether we win the League Cup this season or we repeat in the FA Cup again, we'll see how that all shakes out. But I also don't want to kind of look too far ahead, but I also want us to kind of be excited about the players that we have, because for the first time ever, I think boys like this, young men like this, have helped elevate the DNA and the culture of the club.
Soph, do you remember at the start of this season, before a ball was kicked, and for much of last season, we spoke about the change in the culture in the dressing room, how important it was to get players who will fight for that badge. Forget the names on the back, but they will fight for that badge and connect with the fan base. Nobody epitomizes it quite as much like this guy. Nobody. And he came under a cloud, let's be honest. There were many people who didn't want him at the club. He can't be any good because he's been relegated twice. Remember, we heard all the crap. But what he's done, he's come in. Leno was number one, and he said he wants that number one spot, or else what's he coming into Arsenal for? And boy, one, he's a character. Two, he's a crazy goalkeeper. They're all mad in some varying degrees. So, three, Sophie, he's a fine goalkeeper, fine young goalkeeper. and 4, Sophie, is a showman. That makes a massive difference when the ball's at the other end and he's doing all the antics and he's getting crowds involved. And you know, when he said to what did he say to Calvin Phillips? He said, oh, "Is it all the Leeds fans must be rich because you know all the money they threw?" He said, "I collected 17
He did. He collected
quid.
all the.
You know, collected over 17 quid." Now that's good banter. That's good character.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we've lacked for so long, Sophie. We have, and I'm not knocking Leno too much because Leno done his bit for Arsenal. He has. But Sophie, let's be honest. When you see someone in there now who is good with his hands, good with his feet, and is a character, you see the difference.
Yeah. I wanted to put Martin's comment back up because well done for being honest, Martin. There are a lot of fans that slated it, you know, and are eating humble pie when it comes to Ramsdale. And this is why, and I learned a lot, like this is that man in the arena, Kev. I'm telling you, I've been taking notes. Sometimes even I need to take a deep breath, right? Everyone needs to take a deep breath.
No, Sophie, what's going on?
I don't know. I'm getting old. Am I having a midlife crisis? I might be. Anyone for tennis?
Yeah, oh no, come on, Sophie. We can't be having none of that. You actually taking
No,
a deep
I'll always
breath.
be fiery. That will never, ever go away. But you and I will say one thing. We always have been behind the new signings, right? Because especially you can criticize players that have been there for a while because I'm not being funny. If you don't see it, you don't see it. And you can't sugarcoat it anyway. You've always got to be honest in your analysis, right? But with the new players, all we asked was like, just give them a chance. They haven't even put the shirt on yet. They haven't even kicked the ball. And you're saying he's garbage. And there are a lot of people in the media that have eaten it on Ramsdale as well. So, you know, he has definitely taken the Premier League by storm. He's in most people's half-term best 11. And I tell you something, he definitely is a player, Kev, that has added. It's not too early because if you see this now, Kev, if you see this at such a young age, a goalkeeper is like a wine. What's he going to be like in 6 or 7 years, Kev?
Well, you want him to be challenging for look, Pickford's young as well. So you want him to be right there. Could you remember where there was Shilton and Clements? And you know, it's who's gonna play? You want him to be the number one. We want Ramsdale to be the number one. Of course we do. We know Pickford is the number one at the moment. Possession's 9/10 of the law. But we want our goalkeeper to be right there. Anything happen, he's the number one. That's for sure.
Right.
But he's only going to get better, Sophie. Only going to get more mature. Only going to be able to control his defense and his box and control that team even better 6 years down the line. I mean, he's still a baby.
He is. It's crazy to think there's 3 players in particular. I'm going to get to the next one. No Laguna. Hello, Mr. No Laguna. AFCFeestees.com, you guys. Vinny is the discount code. Go over there. Stephen's got some phenomenal designs. He's got some fantastic Saka and Emil Smith Rowe Halen Boys shirts. He's been saying for a while that he can't take defeat if the players he can take defeat if the players gave everything. This is a great point, Kevin. After that Man City game, you saw us give everything and the chicken sink.
Yes, well said, Steve.
He's missed that fight, that real fight. And I think, Kev, a lot of us had missed that fight.
Sophie, do you know what else as well? I think the fans appreciated it in the stadium. They appreciated the way the team played, the way the team fought. Even with 10 men, we gave it our all, Sophie. Arsenal fans responded. I think the fans this season have been absolutely fantastic. We've been up, we've been down a little bit, but I still think the fans have been absolutely brilliant. So really good.
Yes. Taib and Newman are bordering on. I think I'm going to let Matty K and Virginia decide if they need yellow cards tonight.
What's
Matty
going
K's
on,
like
Soph?
the doom gloom brothers are here. Virginia, Sophie needs to feed Newman Taib that positive energy. Listen, I'm going to put Matty K and and Virginia, you're on VAR watch tonight, Super Kev, with those two. Let's
Door
move
on
on.
tour. You ready for Forest? Yeah, love it, Mr. Door. Absolutely brilliant. Listen, big Forest fan. I've been on his channel. He's a top guy, and
Oh,
he loves
welcome.
the Highbury squad. So
Love it.
all the best. And listen, we're looking forward to Sunday.
Yes, all the best except for Sunday. We the Medicine, loving the show and positivity. Big up from the rainforest of Costa Rica. Oh man, what a place! That's a lovely
One
place.
love, man. One love, Gooners. I love that.
Absolutely,
We
I
the
love it.
Medicine.
All right, Kev, I'm going to get to a player next who is fast becoming potentially. I don't know if I love. This is what is great about this team. Who do I love more? You know, it's like having children, and it's like, how can I love one more than the other? Kev.
I think I
Who
know
does
who it
he?
is. Go on.
Because what I want you to also kind of tell me is like who they remind you of when you were playing. Of course, Rambo reminds you. You mentioned the goalkeepers that he reminded you of, right? Who does Tommy? Is he close to Dicko? Is he close to? Who does he remind you of? He's so. Talk about.
I think I think his toughness and relentless nature is how Lee Dixon used to play. And a bit of Loren. Loren was tough. He could play
Well
and he
said,
was
Elsie.
tough. But you know, I think Tomiyasu, he's got a little different spice to him as well. Because aerially, he's dominant. Because we know we tend to hit him sometimes at goal kicks. Because he's so aerially dominant. And you know at that back stick, Sophie, where we've had so many problems in the past, we don't seem to have those problems anymore. And I think a lot of it is down to this young man coming in our football club. We were crying out, we need a right back, we need a right back, we need a right back. He got signed. We didn't know much about him. But Sophie, I think he's quite a lot of people's favorite player.
Yeah.
In a way. I know, look, Ramsdale gets some and other players get some, but I think a lot admire Tomiyasu because you know what? He just gets on with his job. He doesn't speak much, but he just gets on and he's tough and he's relentless and he's a winner, Sophie. That's what we've wanted. We've wanted winners and he is a winner.
And Kev, can you also just talk everyone through a little bit? Because I love the interview that he did when he was talking about Ben White and his role and what his role is. You know, someone said, don't bring up Bill Belichick for Kev. He doesn't want to hear it, but just do your job. But the way he actually supports the centre backs, a few people have mentioned Laurent like you, Kev. I don't think we've seen that since. I'm going to obviously
Laurent.
Dixon. I don't think we have we?
We've not seen it since Loren. And the key to a right back, Sophie, and because of the way we play, our fullbacks are kind of pushed on at times. So when Ben White engages with a striker or the opposition break the lines, Tomiyasu has to get back and round because he's got to help cover Ben White because Ben White's isolated.
Mm-hmm.
And he does it fantastically well, Sophie. He really does.
What do you think about Nornor's comment about the two-footed angle?
Oh, he's brilliant. He is brilliant. You know, left foot, right foot. The bit I like about him is when he comes inside, he's not trying to play things with the outside of his right. He puts good passes in with his left foot. So he's very two-footed player. Real quality signing. And you think to yourself, they've picked the right player at right back.
They really have. You got to give them credit. I mean, long may this continue. Of course, everyone, we've got a long way to go. But after, like we've said, the debacle of the weekend, we want to focus on the positives because nobody gave Arsenal a chance this season. I didn't. Let's be honest, you guys. How many of us had us being in the top 4 at this point? We may not finish in the top 4 at the end of the season. And if we do, it might be an overachievement. But at the same time, if we can pull that off, that would be incredible.
Would have earned it. if you finish there, you've earned it. That's for sure.
Yes. All right. So he's our unicorn. Lots of love for Tommy, of course. And, you love to see it. I'm going to do these two together, Kev,
Mhm.
because 400 of you in live chat, by the way, welcome to the show. Kev, partnerships are so important in football. You played in an Arsenal team where our backline had such a phenomenal centre back pairing. And we had it over a period of years. George Graham kicked it off, of course. Arsene Wenger took it on and then evolved that a little bit. I want you to talk to me about the potential of these two and what they have to offer as a potential partnership and pairing. It's like a Rio Ferdinand and a Vidic. It's like John Terry and you had Carvalho. All these teams, you got Van Dijk and whoever's next to him. It's pretty good so far, but what are your expectations? What do you think so far of this?
I think they've done really well as a two. I think when Ben White came in, obviously, he was kind of on his own, or he's with somebody who wasn't as athletic, wasn't as strong, wasn't as powerful as Gabriel. And it kind of showed. It showed against Brentford in the first game. And you remember, loads of people were calling Ben White out about how he can't do this and he can't do that. Well, look at him now. I seriously think that it's players who complement each other. I think Gabriel is the leader and he's the aggressive one, but Ben White complements him the way he plays. He can travel with the ball at great speed. He could travel and pass from the back. His crossfield passing is very, very good. So I just think these two as a partnership, one, they can defend as a pair, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
They can play 2v2 because both of them are quick across the ground and are good enough to play 2v2. But that partnership really can be there in place for a very long time. Obviously, we've got Saliba out on loan and he's going to come in, and that's just going to add the quality if anybody gets injured or if you want to tinker with it or play a free or whatever you can. But I think these two are proving. I'd love to see them together for the next 5 years. Because that's what will bring success.
They've
That
only been playing
continuity.
together, Kev, since August, right? Yeah. So
No, not even August.
September.
Not even August. Yeah, September when Gabriel came back, wasn't it?
Correct.
So
I wanted to put Colin's comment up. Gabriel and White are really improving their chemistry. It feels like they always know where the other one is and how best to cover each other in any situation. You and Wrighty had chemistry, whether it was Adams and Keown or Adams and Bold, they had chemistry. Chemistry is very important. I think it's underestimated sometimes in sports, but yet is such I don't know, underestimated is the right word, but the importance of it and how we've lacked chemistry in our team, Kev.
Yes. We have lacked the chemistry for such a long time. And isn't it ironic, Soph? When you see the chemistry now, you realize how poor we were. We won games because we're the Arsenal. We can get over the line at certain times. But that chemistry, that camaraderie within the team, it's infectious. That's what connects the team to the fans. That camaraderie, that feeling of chemistry as well. I think it's so important, and we're seeing it. We're seeing Ben White form a relationship with Tomiyasu. We're seeing Gabriel form a relationship with Ben White. We're seeing Gabriel form a relationship with Tierney and Tavares and all these guys. This is what it's about, and we're seeing Ramsdale connect with his back four. Important, but we haven't had that, Sophie, in such a long time. Because Sophie, do you know what? Let me just say this. Do you know what has absolutely gone out of our game? And I want to touch some wood and all that. Do you remember the poor back passes
Mhm.
and the giving silly goals away and stuff like that. I'm not saying we can't concede, but a lot of that poor defensive work when there's no trouble has gone out of our game. A lot of it has gone out of our game. Why? Because these guys are committed to keeping clean sheets and keeping the opposition out. Can't always do it, but since these guys have been together, Soph, we've got one of the best defensive records in the league.
I agree. There's a few people in the house that have been talking about that he can't defend, that he's great on the ball, bringing the ball out and passing the ball, but he can't defend. I just think that's harsh. And I do think that's
Can't
still
defend.
based on 50 million, him be costing 50 million. I think that's very unfair.
Can't defend. What are they talking about? Can't defend. What are you talking about? So if he can't defend, Manchester City score in the first half. We don't stop him not having shots in the first half if he can't defend. So I can't believe some of this nonsense. Can't believe it.
I mean, there's a lot of this unconvincing, unsure of himself. Knight needs to start watching football. I don't know. I just think daft mistakes have been eliminated, and the landscape changes when he has to. Then you guys, this is the key to see: do we concede that second goal if Gabriel's still on the pitch? When the chemistry changes and it reverts back to holding, this is why, in my opinion, everyone's talking about a midfielder and a striker. I think we need to get a centre back ASAP, because God forbid if Gabriel or White go down, look at the difference. Look at the difference in quality. That chemistry is not there. It disrupts everything. That five, Mike said it on the goalkeeper show. I don't call it a back four. It's a back five. It's a unit. So, yes, Suraj wants us to have Vinny remind everyone to hit the like button.
Hit the like button. That's
Super
nice
Kev.
one, Suraj.
Well done, Suraj. Looking out for the squad right here.
Hit it. Come on, people. Just hit it. Nut it, kiss it, caress it. Edited. Go on.
Editing.
Hit the like. Edited.
All right, Kev, I'm going to move this along. I just realized I've been waxing lyrical and we're still not even to Tierney.
But we have been talking about the back four.
We have. So here he is, of course. And, I'm going to bring up some of those other plays towards the end. But, Kev, can you just tell us, of course, we were enamored with Nuno. Yes, he made mistakes against Liverpool, but he's a young team. But once Tierney came back into the side, Super Kev.
So, isn't it funny how when the gauntlet was thrown down,
oh yeah,
Tierney has stepped right up, Tesco bag and all, and performed not even a sign of an injury. Just been great, being up and down that left-hand side, playing like he used to. Because there was a challenge there, Sophie. And we need to get the best out of him. And that challenge with Nuno has really gotten his attention because he was keeping him out the team. But that's what we need. We need that all over the pitch. But Tierney's good to see him back. Good to see him back playing really well because he's a very, very good option. We've seen him pick people out from that left-hand side. So, listen, we know he's our number one left back. That's for sure. And he's playing like it, which is brilliant.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look, dude's in the sno, doesn't care. Snow? What snow? He is Jon Snow. He is the king of the north.
he can't feel a thing. Look at him.
Our very own Braveheart. Okay, so Kev, we've seen a bit more of Tierney than we have the new summer signings, but once again, you put it brilliantly. The competition. When you were playing under George Graham, this is why I love that man in the arena. Tom Brady saying, Bill Belichick, they go on a run. They're 15-0, and he's nitpicking.
Perfection.
And he's pitting players off each other, but then they created their own thing called they were the edgers, like Brewski and Vrabel and him and McGuinness and all these players, right? And they're like, oh, you showed up I've been here 2 hours. Yeah. Oh, you're leaving already? Oh, I've got another 3 hours left.
Mhm.
Can you please talk about competition? Because we're all competitive. We all want to beat our family at darts or snooker or whatever. But competition, Ozil was just picked. You know, Mustafi was just picked. Kolasinac was just picked. These players just were enabled and picked. They never felt like their place was under competition. I feel like we've got a little bit of competition now, especially as you mentioned Tierney.
Yeah, I think it's for any team, it's important to have one, the accountability, two, the mindset, because it really is a mindset, and high static. Everybody in the building, Sophie, has to be thinking the same thing. I want to be in this team. I'll do what it takes to be in this team. This is the key. When you don't have it, when people are just picked because of their name, it's great if they're playing well, Sophie. But when they're not playing well, how does the next guy feel who's putting the work in, who's chomping at the bit, and he
Hmm.
doesn't get a game? So even when I was playing, it was all about competitive. Can you be competitive in training? You train the way you play. And I understand you want to beat your family at darts, but this is the professional world. Not only are you competing against your own players, obviously, then you've got to compete against the opposition. Everybody's pros, everybody trains, everybody, but not everybody has the same mindset. And that is the key to having a top squad is the competition. And you can take players out and put another player in, and it doesn't affect the mindset, the camaraderie, or that will to win, Soph. It's a will to win that has to be throughout the club.
Hmm. Yeah, I totally agree. I see that. Right, another player who's been poo-pooed. We've been on the bandwagon. Kev talked to you about him when he was in La Liga. Told you about how he played when he was on loan at Real Sociedad. Super Kev,
Mhm.
the Norwegian who could potentially bring Haaland to the Emirates. Jokes aside, how much quality does he have? And how
I,
much
I,
has he shown us?
yeah,
Yeah.
I think we're just scratching the surface with this guy, Sophie. If I'm honest with you, I really do. I think a lot of the time fans don't see is the economy in his game and the way he moves the team. I think he's now that we've it's quite interesting. Now that Aubameyang's not in the team, he's playing forward more, which is quite surprising because you would think. I remember being on a show with you last season at times, Sophie, and saying Aubameyang should be licking his lips because as soon as he gets the ball, that's your trigger to get going. But it just didn't really work out that way. But now, I mean, he's playing Kieran Tierney in from the centre of the pitch, against Norwich, etc. He's excellent at what he does. He's a continuity player that all top teams need. He keeps the ball moving. He's very good. And do you know what? He's only going to get better, Sophie. And he's a lefty, Sophie. It always looks a little bit more elegant with a lefty, doesn't
Doesn't
it?
it?
It does.
We've upgraded. And you're right, Tom. He's much better than Ceballos. We upgraded on Ceballos. We upgraded on Bellerin. We upgraded on Socrates. We upgraded, you know, with our own Halen boys by removing, Pepe from the starting lineup. We've they've shown they work hard. Working hard, you can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't work hard every single day. Now, I work with actors and athletes, Kev. I see they have to work hard to keep up at the top.
To
And
maintain.
when everyone's having a glass of wine, they're in the gym. That's what separates us from people who are in sports or in the Olympics. Or I just had lunch with my coach. I call him my coach. He won Olympic gold as the US women's volleyball team. sacrificed time with his family. You have to really put in the work, and some players do and some don't, and you've seen it firsthand,
And you
Kev.
know something, Sophie? Sometimes you put the work in and you don't see the results straight away. You know, in this culture now where it's a quick culture, everybody wants it now. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to see the benefit yet.
Mm-hmm.
But you see, as you start to progress and you build that foundation, once you stay on that path, once you have the foundation, things get built very quickly from there. Very quickly. But
Yep.
the building of the foundation can take some time. And let's be honest, we've been on there with our family, with our squaddy family, and we have battled at times, haven't we? We've battled. So, you know, we're
Mm-hmm.
starting to see the progress start to move a little bit quicker, at least.
Exactly. And Mr. Waffles, fans being honest about eating crow with Mo. And a
He's
lot
been
of
eating
people.
waffles, he has. Come on, good crow. He's been eating waffles.
And by the way, Jenny, if you're making tea, we'd all like a cuppa, by the way. Rich tea biscuits on the side, please. All right, let's continue our no rearview mirror today. The future is bright at the Arsenal. We're looking forward. And we're just kind of, as we get ready for our semi-final against Liverpool, if they show up, it'd be like one of those scenes in Game of Thrones. We've showed up. Where's your army?
Where's the opposition?
Oh,
Where
I
are
don't
they?
see you. Kev, it's taken a while. This one might be a bit polarizing in chat.
No, won't be polarizing. Sophie, look, I think everybody knows he's got the quality, he's got the talent. And, even by his own admission, Sophie, let's be honest, he gave himself a 4 and said, he hasn't been good enough. But let me tell you something, Sophie. Over the last few games, people have been saying, oh, but he's not taking games by the scruff of the neck. But what we have done, we've been, obviously, we're not talking about the Man City game here. We've been winning games and he's played his part. But the big one was against Manchester City, where if you're not on your game, they're gonna sort us right out. And if they start controlling the midfield, Sophie, we are in trouble. He was absolutely magnificent. He really was. And that's the level that this guy can play. He should be a Rolls Royce and superstar every week. He should be. And now we've seen it. We want more of it, Thomas. That's for sure. We want more of it because we know what you can do. And I must say, Sophie, apart from the penalty, I thought Granit Xhaka played really well with him as well. The fact is, my thoughts on Xhaka, but he did play well in the game. He just done something silly and gave away a penalty. But he did play well. We bossed that midfield, Sophie. We gave Man City as much as they could handle.
Yeah.
We really did.
I'm trying to avoid talking about Xhaka because I want this to be a very positive show, but we'll get to him at the end just a little bit. Games FC, party turns up in big games. Someone said, oh, Wijnaldum, that would be sexy. That would be very sexy. Alistair thinks he's our Yaya Toure. Gigi, let's bring in Gigi. That would be amazing. I know, Matty K. Just when he turns it on, we have to lose him. But we were looking at the games yesterday, and I think you guys can correct me. You always do, squaddies. I think he's only going to miss 2 Premier League games because we've got the 2 cup games in January as well.
It's either 2 or 3 games, league games. So that's fine.
Hi everyone, and happy New Year to everyone who's wishing us a happy New Year as well. If Party played like that, every game would be unstoppable. I can't remember who said it. Was it Gilberto Silva who said it? Who said he felt like he looked like Patrick Vieira?
Yeah, Gilberto Silva.
Yeah. 522 of you in live chat this fine Tuesday evening.
Minimum 300 likes, everyone. You do a Vinny, hit it, smash it, caress it, knot it in there. But we need them likes.
Right. Kev, let's move on to more positivity. I showed their picture at the beginning, but we're going to wrap these 3 in one.
The trio.
Okay.
Our babies.
I'm just gonna let you. This picture I love. Number 7 and a number 10. Hey, Len boys.
And do you know what, Soph? Do you remember when Smith Rowe got given a number 10 at the start of the season?
Yep.
There was a lot of people saying he don't deserve it. What has he done? We should leave that for another player. But let's be honest, he's been sensational this season. His production is ridiculous. Even coming off the bench, he's scoring vital goals. He's making a difference. Saka, we said there might be a little bit of hangover. And at the start of the season, Sophie weren't quite himself, let's be honest. But boy, he playing well at the moment. And we really need these two young lads. And then you chuck Martinelli in after what happens with Aubameyang, and Martinelli hits the ground running. He takes his chance. These three are our treasure. They're our treasures. Really our treasures. And we've got to look after them. We've got to protect them. We've got to get a team that can help them and look after them on the pitch. But you know what? We have to really help them develop, because if we help these three boys develop, we have got three world-class players on our hands. World-class. That's for sure.
Kev, when you see that image of, I don't have it, but you guys all know it, the one of, and people love this picture. I mean, come on. When I'm sad, I just look at this.
The kit and the dog love it. That shirt, classic shirt.
Amazing. The picture of Saka and 6 City players around him.
And the ref.
The last time I think we had that was either Santi or Alexis. Alexis Sanchez did that a lot to teams where, I mean, his mobility, his tenacity, his quick feet, his pace, his talent.
His talent was just, you had to account for him, and you had to try and stop him at all costs. Because if you didn't...
It's a shame that we didn't get a result out of that game, because it's like Cancelo must still be looking for his soul, because his football soul, because Saka just stole it from him. Absolutely stole it from him.
Yeah, but you know what, Soph? In football, where you, as a Man City player, you're playing against Arsenal again, and you've had it easy. And, Arsenal are starting to get a little bit of form, so you're not sure what you're going to expect, right? And then when you finish the game, you go in the dressing room and you look around at each other and say, they're going to be a problem in the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah, someone just put every player you putting up. I think I just put it here, Johnny. I think it's Johnny. Every player you mention is exciting. It's great. It's true.
Remember the start of the season, Soph? We didn't have that, did we?
No.
We didn't have that in the team. Now we got it. We got the exciting, the future. And Sophie, we've got to give some credit to the manager and Edu for the recruitment. Because don't forget, we got battered in the media about we spent all that money and all of the signings don't make one. Do you remember? All of the signings, who are they? Never heard of them.
Mm-hmm.
But look at us now. Look at us now. And I'm not saying we're the finished article by any stretch.
No, we're not saying that.
But there were a lot of people in the media who absolutely battered us, Soph, for these signings.
Yeah.
And look at us now. And they Spearing, they come out, he surprised me, Ramsdale surprised me. No, they should be saying, what great recruitment. What great recruitment Arsenal done. But they don't. Incredible, Tommy Arsenal. Ramsdale, you look at these guys, all contributed to being fourth in the table. Ben White, still people not convinced. But we're fourth in the table. What is it going to take? And I'm not saying he's the next coming to Tony Adams or anything, but they're doing the business. Erdegaard, doing the business. Our front, our 3 gems up the top, doing the business, Sophie.
And Kev, I'm going to throw in a few others into the mix too, because
Kenya Gooner. No,
no,
listen,
I'm not going to do it.
Nuno made a real difference when he came in. Don't forget, Kieran Tierney weren't playing well at the time, Soph, and he came in and he was brilliant. He gave us another dimension. Let's be honest, and that obviously maybe gave Kieran Tierney something to think about because he didn't come straight back into the team like we thought he would. So again, you need the competition to help. Remember, they were talking. He's been linked with Manchester City. Manchester City looking at this young guy. Do you know what I mean? So that's how prominent he played.
I have another one for you, Kev. So this is it. So I've put the core players in that have been playing more, but let's not forget
Sambi's again. Sambi has contributed 100%. Sophie, let's have it right. He's still learning how to listen. If Thomas Partey in the centre of the midfield is still adjusting at times, we're going to allow this young man to adjust. We know he's very talented and he's learning. That's one thing he is doing. He is learning how to play the game in England. And he will be better for coming in the team and sometimes coming out of the team as well, Soph. He will be a better player for it.
And Kev, we do have, with all of this does come that price of every player's in a shop window because every team's looking to improve their squads. And you mentioned Nuno and City. I mean, we have, if Sancho is 70 million, I'm sorry. He's having a terrible time at Manchester United. It might be the system. It might be the manager. It might be underdeveloped under Ole. It might be all of those things. If Grealish was 100 million from Villa, what is Saka worth with the way he is playing right now? But the difference is...
He ain't worth nothing. He's
exactly,
not worth anything because he's not for sale, Liverpool. So I keep seeing this nonsense about Liverpool. Get out of it. Get out of it. He's not worth anything, Sophie, because he's invaluable. He's invaluable to us, and he is going nowhere. There's a shout that he's going to be, they're going to offer him a new contract, rip his current contract up and offer him that 5-year deal straight.
Absolutely.
Do it now. Get him. Smith Rowe's just signed his one. Get Gabriel Martinelli signed up as well, and let's move forward with these youngsters.
Okay. I'm not quite done yet, people. This is the beautiful thing. Spine tingling, hairs up everywhere. I mean, when was the last time we had all of this to look forward to? Of course, it has to be honed in, managed well. We've got to build on it. We've got to qualify for Europe. We know all of those things. Today, we're just focusing on the talent that we have. Kev, this kid.
Yeah, look, Soph, I don't want to get too caught up in Charlie Patino. We know he's a quality player and he made a dream debut, didn't he? But if we're honest, I haven't seen enough of him of a level yet.
Just talking about talent, Kev.
No, I'm gonna be going about his talent. What we need, because we could chuck Balogun in there as well. These boys are very talented, but what we need them to get experience, Sophie.
Mm-hmm.
We need Charlie Patino to go out there and play some league games. Balogun to go and play some league games. Get roughed up a bit, or if they can't rough you up, even better. That means that your talent takes you beyond that. Aziz is on loan. Fantastic. He's another young player, so which we've kind of forgotten. We're not forgetting you, Aziz. We want you guys to go on loan and gain the experience, so when you do come back, you can make a difference in Arsenal's squad.
Yes. And all I'm saying is by putting his picture up is when you see him come on in a cup game, that's good. But the point is that we do have
develop his talent.
Yes. And this was the point of kind of at what point does a player like him go on loan? I've seen conversations about, well, Partey's going to AFCON and what if we have injuries? Sambi's going to be the one that comes in. Patino, it's too soon for him. But Balogun, of course, we need to send him out as well, Kev. So this is why there's all that other talent. Balogun, Aziz, as you mentioned, Patino.
Sophie, here's the other thing. Mikel Arteta might say because it's midfield, because he's got people around him, to Patino, I want you around the squad.
That's exactly what GB said that Charles Watts has been reporting too. Yeah.
I want you around the squad, and I want you on the bench, and I want to be getting you 5 minutes there, 10 minutes there, just so you start to get a feel of the tempo of the Premier League. Then, because he's still only a baby, then maybe at the start of next season he goes out on loan. But if he comes in and he does really well, Sophie, we've seen it happen with players. They just take to the Premier League like a duck to water. It happened with Jack Wilshere. He took to the Premier League like a duck to water, made it look quite effortless. So he might be one of those players. If not, he needs to go out and develop.
Kev, can you also just talk me through, of course, going out on loan? We've seen even the Beckhams of the world went out on loan. You know, Harry Kanes of the world went out on loan. Our players, you know, have gone out on loan. We've seen the benefit of Emile Smith-Rowe going to Huddersfield. Talk about that was a great loan
move.
Spell
Great move.
for him too. When you're around the first team and if he's in and about like Charles Watts reports and stuff and he doesn't go out on loan, does that hinder the growth period?
No. I tell you why it doesn't hinder it in him. Because I hear he's around the first team training, etc. But he's so young, Sophie. He is so young that it's only going to improve him training with the quality players every day. It's only going to improve him. But there's going to come a time where he's doing it in training, but he's not quite going to start. So he'll look good in training regularly, and then he needs to take the next step. That's when he might go on loan. It's like Balogun. Balogun has been looking good constantly. That's why we're saying his next move has to be on loan because he's got to get that experience. He's got to gain it. Patino, I think the same. You know, quicker we can bring some of these lads on, the better. But Mikel Arteta will know if it's not right to put him on loan yet, maybe because the right loan isn't available yet. Let's keep him around the squad and keep him involved.
Yeah. And Stephen brings up a good point. Fabregas did improve being around Bergkamp and Henry. We're lucky now that, you know, that's the part, Kev, because I do want to come on to a senior player who does have that impact, who does nurture the young players, who they all respond to, who they all love, but clearly is not going to be at the club much longer. And one of the things that has to dovetail all of this excitement, I think Tomiyasu is really mature. I think Gabriel's mature, but he had a very immature moment against City at the weekend. We're not going to, you know, he needs to learn from that. He can't do that, can't put his team in jeopardy like that. We all know about this guy, and we're not going to get stuck into that today. But this guy, Kev,
the glue.
What's the biggest fear of losing this guy? Especially if you replace him, okay, let's just say Vlahovic comes in or Isaac comes. Isaac's young. You know, Vlavic's not a leader. He's never played in the Premier League. You've been in situations where you've seen experienced players leave. I want to be positive because he's such a positive influence, but losing him, Kev.
It will be positive. I think what Lacazette has proven is, even though he doesn't score the goals that we like, how essential he is because of what he does for the team. So bringing a player in who is maybe more of a goal threat has to have more than just a goal threat. He has to be able to link the play. And Isaac can do that, and Vlahovic can do that as well. Both of them could come short. Both of them can hold the ball up, knock it off, and get in the box. So I think the key is we were having Aubameyang play on the shoulder and we're having Lacazette play in the hole. We need a player who can do both. And Vlahovic, Isaac, DCL to a point can do the same. El Nesri probably could do the same as well, although he can play anywhere across that front line. So again, recruiting the right player or right. You know what, Sophie? I think we need 2 strikers. I really think we need 2 because Aubameyang, Lacazette, and Eddie, I think they're all going to be gone. Balogun's going to go on loan, so Balogun's learning. So I think we're going to need 2 strikers.
So, Kev, is this a few people have mentioned this, and I wanted to bring this around to you. We're an hour in. I'm going to try and get everyone out of here as soon as, but there's 630 of you in live chat enjoying the conversation with Super Kev tonight, looking at our young Lions and you know, being excited about the future. Remember, we're just talking about being excited. And I think we need to allow ourselves permission as Arsenal fans to be excited. We shouldn't criticize each other or think, oh, they're saying we're going to win the league or we're going to do this and that. No, we're just saying for the first time, you can see something is emerging and there's a strength and depth to this team that we can build on, but have to build on, Kev. We cannot let this talent pool slide at all.
This now the window's open, so we're going to see. Very important month for us now. Because I tell you what, if we make the right moves, we are right up there for that top 4. I'm telling you, we are. Even with the AFCON, we are. If we make the right moves, we need to.
It's going to be hard without European football to sign certain players. But Kev, if we can get Gigi and as a loan deal for the rest of the season, now you're talking about marrying the young players with experience. And one of the things I think is, are Arteta and Edu okay? Well, look, Laka is choosing not to stay. That's his choice, right? He was offered a year extension, but this is his opportunity to really get his last big contract of his career. And who can blame him for that? But do you also think that there is this lack of fear? Because Odegaard, as young as he is very mature and he's a leader. Tierney, as young as he still is, he's very mature and he's a leader. You got Thomas Partey, who's emerging into his role. You got Tomiyasu, who's very, very mature. The dude is like incredibly mature for his age. Ramsdale, incredibly crazy and mature for his age.
Yeah,
Ben White has come out publicly and said, I would be honored to be Arsenal captain. He has a level of maturity about him too. Does that give you comfort, even though we lose a Laka, Oba's going to be gone?
Yeah, it does, because you know what, Sophie? The new Arsenal have to emerge from the old. We're starting to see it now that the foundations, the footings are in. There's a new Arsenal that has to emerge. Younger players who have the maturity. When we look across our team, we are young. But you know what, Sophie? If they grow together, there's going to be leaders all over that football pitch. Even our dynamic trio at the top end of the pitch. They're growing. And in 2-3 years' time, these youngsters will be top players with the support system that they have. So you're looking at any one of the back 4 or back 5 could be captain, Sophie. You're looking at a midfield, any one of the midfielders could be captains. And then you look at the front end, you know, these youngsters are then going to be leaders in their own little right because they've been at the club such a long time. So the future really is bright and positive for our team. They've just been put together and they're young. But I'm excited about these boys.
Football's fun again. Football is fun again, you know?
And we got Liverpool running scared. It's amazing.
You know, and yeah, there's a couple of games we're not going to bring up because this is a positive show today, hence why we're not talking too much about the player that rhymes with Laka and Saka. And you know, after coming off a tough weekend, let's keep it in perspective. Like, they have to put it in the rearview mirror. We fans have to put it in the rearview mirror and continue supporting this team and moving on. The home fans have been amazing. The away fans have been absolutely ridiculously sensational. Every fan of you from all corners of this earth who wake up at ungodly hours to support our team have been amazing. And by the way, Jared, happy birthday. A couple days late. We didn't say it on the show, but happy birthday to our good friend Jared.
Football
Switzerland.
is fun again. It is.
Hey, listen, everywhere. You've all let us know. We've got Antigua in the house tonight, Costa Rica in the house tonight. We've got Uganda, Algeria, Switzerland, from all corners of this
Jamaica
earth,
in the house. We've got
Jamaica
South London in
always.
the house. We've got
we've got Atlanta. We've got all
Nigeria in the house. I know there's Nigeria in the house. Yeah.
Yeah,
brilliant.
We do. So, Kev, let's just keep up that spirit and stay behind the team. And here's the difference, you guys. The big difference between Gibraltar, Cheshunt, good old Gooner Russ in Cheshunt.
Cheshunt, love it, Russ.
So my sister used to live in Cheshunt, Sweden, everywhere in the world. Barbados, come on. We got Norwegians. Listen, you guys rock. Without you, oh, I do love a bit. Oh, Loch Lomond is one of my favorite places in the world, Kev. I love me a bit of Loch Lomond. Great place there called Cameron House. If anyone fancies a weekend away, it's lovely,
nice,
isn't it?
With the lodges.
Yes. We got Turkey in the house. Great food in Turkey. Boston, Tom Brady country still, in my opinion. But Kev, without all of these fine folks from all corners of the earth, there is no Highbury squad, and we love each and every one of them.
Yep.
I would say Prashant. Who wanted me to say Prashant? There you go. Prashant. Did I correct it? Did I say it correctly? Prashant. I think so. There you go. Just for you. What a great show today, Kev. Absolutely beautiful stuff.
Do you know, it's nice to speak positive about our club again. South London, Brixton. Don 1, you're SW9, I was SW2. There you go. All good.
Love it. Good. I love it, you guys. Leeds.
Yeah, so it's nice to be able to speak, you know, positively about our team, positively about our players, positively about our football club. And if you remember rightly, earlier on in the season, we weren't even sure what was going to be going on at our football club after the first 3 games, Sophie. So here we are. We're in 2022, Sophie. We're still in 4th place. We're in a semi-final of a League Cup against Liverpool. And we've got an FA Cup game coming up against Nottingham Forest. Absolutely brilliant. And we're at the Africa Cup of Nations. So if we could see ourselves through this part and then we could get our boys back, we make that assault on the top 4.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I am an international spy. Be careful. I'll be spreading your secrets. Kev, real quick. We did our scores. I'll do this tomorrow. Update everyone. Not tomorrow, Thursday, when you're back. Our scores that we predicted. I haven't forgotten about that. A few people wrote to me about that. Let's just say Kev did a little bit better than me, but only by 1 game, I think. But remember, I'm shit at maths. So Super Kev is going to iron it out for us when he's back on Thursday. If you guys are willing, tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m., I will be joining the Sky Sport early kickoff team for a half hour of Premier League football talk, Carabao Cup talk. So tune into Sky Sports at 7:30 a.m. tomorrow. And you can see my ugly mug.
I'll be there, Soph. I'll be watching.
If you missed Kev, he was on for 3 hours at the weekend. You can tap back in and listen to that. He had a great discussion with Darren Lewis. He set everyone straight. It was fantastic, Kev. Brilliant stuff. You are back on Thursday.
Yeah.
I will be back tomorrow. And then, of course, we have Kev Says on Friday as well. There's 600 of you in live chat. We hate to leave you, but we do have to duck out. We could go on forever. We've got some fun shows lined up for you in 2022. We're going to give you all the details on next Monday Madness. So be ready for that. I won't swear. I never swear on Sky Sports. If I would never be on again.
You won't be on, yeah. You wouldn't.
Sometimes I have to think like I'm not talking to Newman and Taib. You know what I mean?
I get that. I get it. Yeah, I know. I know.
All right, Kev. It's been lovely talking positively about our team tonight. Take us out.
Sophie, look, hostess with the mostest as always. Love the way you set the shows up, Soph. Squaddies, you are involved all the way. Even before we get on, Sophie's looking at all the chat and she's keeping me informed. And look, all I've got to say is it's great to be positive. Let's look forward to our game if it's on. But I'm sure the powers that be should keep it on. And you know what, Squaddies? Wherever you are in the world, have a good one. And always remember, your Squaddies for life now. At ease.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.